got a good shot at you guys today.
This is weird. It's tough. I apologize.
All good.
Nick, I know the injury report is going to come out later, but is there anything you could share with us about AJ's status and your confidence he'll be able to play Sunday?
Yeah, we got to see after this practice, and you'll get everything. So just always want the most time we have to be able to evaluate before we give you guys any information on that.
Is he a player that you think could play on Sunday, even if he doesn't take any practice reps this week?
Yeah, everybody has different scenarios with that, and yeah, I think a lot of our guys, just because of the how locked in that we are to the details, and our guys are locked into the details, the game plan studying, the way they go about walkthrough, the way they go about meetings. Yeah, I definitely think that he's a guy that could.
There's been some dot connecting, I guess, on the outside with him missing practice, and then another social media post. Just wanted to ask you about how things are internally with him, versus the.
Yeah, we're always in constant communication with all our guys. AJ's no different, and yeah, he business as usual.
When it comes to the running game, Nick, Jordan was talking about it's been more difficult to get some of those double teams with the offensive line. How much is that just the defensive front versus what you can do as an offense to try to get in a position to use those double teams?
Yeah, I think that get into a little too much scheme, but you're always trying to get work on those abilities to get 2-on-1s, different things like that. They get paid too to take you off those, so that's a constant battle within a game to try to be getting those things and them trying to eliminate those things, whether that's through a certain defense they call or a certain technique that they have. So there's many different ways to be able to do that. And our job, we're trying, on our side, are trying to do is anything that we can get it. But you think about times they put 5 on the line or 6 on the line. Those are things that obviously there's less. You got to handle that line front first. So again, don't want to get too much into that, but there's ways that we try to create it, and then there's ways that they try to create that same issue of not getting the double team.
How do you work on scramble drills in practice, knowing that most practice is going to be on schedule?
Yeah, well, most practices isn't necessarily. We try to make sure we're given different looks and things like that, and so naturally they kind of happen. Naturally, you'll get them within the midst of the week, but if you don't, let's say you get to Friday and you haven't yet, then you try to build some in, whether it's through drill work or whether it's through teamwork, team periods work, and so they naturally happen quite a bit. I wouldn't say, again, you are more on schedule maybe a little bit in practice, yes, but we're trying to always challenge our guys, not just the quarterback and the pass game, but in all situations. Vic's challenging the guys on defense. We're trying to challenge the guys on offense with, different looks and different things like that. So naturally you get some, but then you try to build some into practice, at times if you haven't got enough in your mind throughout the week.
Is you ready to play?
We'll see. We got another day here to go through our process and everything that we do, and it's been fun having them back out there. That's for sure.
I don't know if you know this, but if your next win, you'll tie Dick Vermeil third on the list of coaches in franchise history.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know you've spent some time with him. What would accomplishing that mean to you?
Man, he's a great resource for me, able to, pick his brain on different things. And, I just used a story earlier in the year of a story that he had told at one of his teams that I thought really fit well. So I'm always appreciate, kind of a pregame Saturday night type deal. And so I'm always appreciative of him, and it's an honor to, it'll be an honor to be, tied with a great coach like that. Been a lot of great coaches. This organization's had a lot of great coaches through its history. And so obviously anytime your name is associated with those guys, and particularly Coach Vermeil, that's an honor.
You changed the running back depth chart a bit in his past game. Was the impetus to get Tank Bixby working on offense, or
What does that word mean?
I'm sorry, what's the motivation, or
Uh-huh.
was the directive to try to get Tank
Sorry.
Bixby working on
Yeah.
offense?
You know, again, we have so much faith in that entire room. A lot of those guys, all those guys have given us meaningful reps, great reps. You know, you know, Tank is, man, he practices his butt off, and all those guys do, but it's so noticeable, you know, what Tank does in practice and how hard he works, and, you know, wanted to give him some opportunities. I know he got to, you know, touch the ball twice in our last game, had a really good carry, showed some good acceleration. That doesn't mean anything different for AJ or Will, obviously Saquon. You know, we just know that we have a really good group of backs that all are capable of making really big plays and all bring a different dynamic to the room. It's just a well-built room. Great job to Howie and his staff of giving us the depth there to be able to have these issues of, you know, hey, who do we play here? Who do we give the carries to here? Because they're all deserving and they're all great teammates, great people, and I think really good players.
All right, thanks, folks.